Welcome back to the house. So I think I've mentioned this before, but I've been on about putting a fence up here for a while, and now obviously now we've got Marley, I need to get this fence up just to keep him in the back garden, especially in the summer. He's already got out once through these hedges somewhere down there, so actually putting the fence up isn't going to make a difference, but it just allows us to you know, sort of have the back door open and he can roam freely, and we don't have to worry about him being round the front and you know God forbid somebody grabbed him or whatever, I don't know, or, you know, if somebody leaves the gate open by accident and he got out. But yeah, so here's the start of the little fence project. So already got the posts, yes, the green. These are actually they've been salvaged off a site my dad's working on. It's the old hoarding posts. Yeah, the green, but my plan is today is to actually strip this paint off and get them back to the sort of natural wood colour, and then I'm going to paint them like a nice fence brown. I'm not just going to overpaint this because eventually it'll show back through and yeah, it'll look crap. So the plan is just to run the planer on it ever so slightly just to get this green paint off, because sanding it'll just take too long. And yeah, the reason I'm using reclaimed posts or old posts, whatever you want to call it, is because they're like brand new. They're like 15 to 20 quid a post. I think I need about 9 for the fence, and then I'm planning some other little projects behind this. So I think all in all I need about 16, 16 posts to do what I need to do. So that's quite an expensive job just in posts, and you need the concrete and the rails and what else. So whatever I can get for free, and you know, if they need a bit of work then fair dues. But yeah, might as well recycle. They were just going to go in the skip anyway, so I said I'd have them. So yeah, I'll get these stripped down and I'll show you them after. I'm actually going to do it in the garage because it's raining. I'm going to show you. Yeah, this is the garage at the minute. It's it's a bit of a tip. These are the boards I'm using for the fence actually. It's feather edge board. Got that the other day. I'm going to paint. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint everything before I build the fence. I just think it'll be easier. So I'll paint all the boards, I'll paint all the posts, the rails and everything. Yeah, so I'm going to set up a little workshop in here because I don't really fancy getting wet. Right, here we are so far. After a few tweaks it actually started going pretty well. It's took, you know, pretty much most of it off. I mean, there's some bits here, but you can see these lines. That's where the saw marks are from when it was what's the word, milled. So it's not going to be perfect by any means, but they're just fence posts and most of it's going to be covered up anyway. So I've got these done, got a few more to do, but now that the sun's come out, I'll do the rest out here. But I'll show you what paint we're going to use. So this stuff here, Ron Seal Fence Life Plus. Yeah, it says you can brush it or spray it on. Now I was going to spray it on with an air compressor, but I can't find my my attachment for it. So I think what I'm going to do is just I'll try roller it, hope for an easy life. If not, I'll I'll brush it on. But that's where we are at the minute, so I'll get the rest of those stripped and start painting them. And there we go. That's the rails sprayed. I think they're going to need one more coat actually. Here are the posts. These have had about 5, maybe 6 coats. I found out that that green paint was gloss, so that's why it's took forever to cover. There is some marks on them. I'll touch them up with a brush. These have had 2. But with these not being painted and rough sawn, I mean, these are nearly dry already. I only did them about an hour ago, if that. So I think one more and they'll be grand. These are the top rails. I had to travel quite a bit to go pick these up because no one in the area does them that wide. So obviously that sits on top of there like that, and then you've got this lip where the feather edge sits. Yeah, I bought some from Wix but they weren't wide enough, so I'm gonna have to send those back. And there we go. That's how they get painted. It's much quicker than a brush, and you get a better cover. Well, you don't get the brush marks. It might take you a bit longer. You might have to do like an extra coat because the coverage isn't as thick with the spray, but it's miles quicker and it's a bit more fun as well than brush painting. But that aside, the next job now is to set out where these posts are going. Now, I'm thinking, I don't know, sort of about 450 back, which is that, more or less 400, 450, something like that. I don't want it bang in line with the house because I tried to explain it to Holly. It sounds daft, but it'll stand out too much. But so if it's set back, it makes the house, I don't know, it's sort of hard to describe, but it's definitely getting set back. So there'll be a gate here, a metre wide gate here, and then the fence all the way down to the hedge. I'm hoping, I mean, I don't know, it probably won't, but I'm hoping it lands about in line with that lamppost. I don't think it will actually. Hello. Your dinner ready? Okay. So yeah, the main thing is that it's square with the house, so I'll video how I set it out, and then we'll go from there. Get the holes dug and the posts set. Right. Posts are, well, holes are dug, posts are in position. So I'll just explain what I've done here, what these lines are doing. This line is the line that's square off the house, or parallel, whatever you want to call it. And this green line here is set 520 back from the from this parallel line off the house. This is the post line. My finished fence line is to the edge of this brick here, 450. I've got 70mm build out, so I've got sort of like 50mm width of rail, and then when the feather edge overlap, you get about, what do I say this is? 520. So yeah, about 70mm, so you got about 20mm when the both feather edge are overlapped. So it's about, I think I worked it out like 69, so I just did it at 70. So 450 plus 70 is your 520, and that's the line of the post. So what I've done here is, I'll not lift that one out because it's too heavy. But if you see here, I've wrapped the end of the post. That's just to stop any moisture getting in the end grain of the post, and then I'm just going to prop them off bricks, and that's just to stop any moisture from the ground coming up as well. So they're not touching the soil directly, and the end grain isn't going to be soaked by the soil either. So there we go. Time to get them concreted in. there we go. That's the posts in. That's the first time I've actually done posts on my own without any extra pair of hands, and it's yeah, it's hard work. You definitely need two people to do this, but yeah, well, got them in. I actually need more postcrete. Proper underestimated how much I need, so I'm probably going to get another 2 bags per hole. But they're alright. They're not, don't get me wrong, they're wobbly, but they're not going anywhere. And it's actually, the wind's gone up a bit, but I'll probably brace them at the top, seeing as they're probably getting cut off to about, I don't know, here. So I'll pin them right at the top, and yeah, they'll be fine while tomorrow. And I'll go get some more postcrete, and yeah, just get them filled up a bit more. And there we go, next job, rails and boarding. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I build the gate to finish off this fence. So it's going to be hinged on this side. I'm going to open this way. This is another area, another future plan. So yeah, start by framing the gate up, getting it hinged, and then we'll clad it in the same stuff as the fence, and it should hopefully, once it's all done, just look like one continuous fence panel. But obviously there's going to be a handle here. So we'll see how it goes. Right, so here's the gate all framed up. And you'll see this one, you see the video that I'm building it. I've done lap joints. Some of them didn't go too well, so I had to fill them, but I don't think it's too bad. I think the worst one is, yeah, this bottom one here. I know what I did wrong. I didn't support the wood properly on the chop saw, so as I was moving the wood along, it was actually, the wood was lifting up, so the cut was getting deeper, and that's why it's like that. But I've filled it. Also, another thing, and this is just because it's rough sawn timber and it's basically crap. It's twisted, so if you look, when it's at the bottom, it's met at the bottom, it sticks out at the top, so this end sort of needs bending over. Obviously everything's in line here, I can't do no adjustment on that, so I think the only thing I can do, this post is plumb, the only thing I can think of doing is just screwing the gate shut, I don't know, for a couple of weeks or whatever, and screwing it to where it's meant to be, and then obviously with the hot weather and everything, it'll sort of, I don't know, it'll set to that shape over a period of time, just as if like you soaked something into a certain shape and dried it out into a certain shape, it'd hold its shape. So that's what it is. It's probably just how the wood's been stored. It's just got a slight twist in it, so that's not the end of the world. So yeah, the next job now is to put all the boards on it, and then it'll be pretty much done. Just got to put the lock on it. I'm thinking of putting, like, I think it's called a gate mate lock with like a key on it, but I can obviously decide all this after. The main thing is just get the panelling on it for now, but I don't think it's a bad attempt to say it's the first time I've ever built a gate. You know, I always like to do new things, and that, again, it's not, don't know what I've done. I think I've cut this post a bit too short, but I'm going to get some sort of capping for this anyway, so hopefully it'll sort it all itself out once it's all done. Yeah, gonna get this panelling on now. And there we have it. That is the fence pretty much done. A little bit of touching up paint wise to do, but all the ironmonger is on the gate. Got the gate mate lock thing that I was talking about. Did the gravel boards. Yeah, I messed up with the post. I think when I measured it, I levelled. Oh yeah. I think what I did is I levelled across from there to, or whatever, to the top. Measured to the top of this. I didn't account for the top rail, and then also the post cap on top. So yeah, I've had to cut that little block, but I've glued it, I've filled it. It just needs a few more coats of paint just to hide it, and then probably another sand, and then keep painting it to cover that up. But yeah, the gate is a little bit still twisted, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. I mean, I had it screwed shut for a while, and now we've got this lock. I love this lock, it's so easy. But yeah, now we've got that holding it in place. Eventually the twist will come out. So there we go. So all in all, how much did it cost? And I've written that down here. Hopefully you can read that. But the most expensive thing was the boards, and then second was the rails. But yeah, 530 quid. There's probably a few other bits I've missed off that. So let's say under 600 quid has built a 6.5 metre fence. Do bear in mind that the posts were free. I got them from my dad. They're working on a job somewhere down south, and I think I've already told you this, but the site, the temporary fencing, they just use 4x4 posts and plywood. It was all getting ripped out, and it was basically getting chucked in the skip. So he said, "Do you want some?" And I was like, "Yeah." So if I was to pay for the posts, you know, you could probably add, I don't know how many posts is there in that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5 posts in that. So you could easily add another 100 quid onto what's already there. So I've saved 100 quid in posts, and then obviously labour and everything free. But yeah, I think for the first time building a fence like that, I don't think I've done too much of a bad job. You have to tell me what you think, but I'm quite happy with it. It does the job of keeping Marley in. It was getting through that gap down there, but now the hedges start to grow a bit. Is stopped crawling through there, and with the stuff that I've got planned for the back there anyway, I'll not be able to get through anyway. So the main thing is we can keep the door open, and he can sort of run about free and not get around the front when we're not watching him, which is what I wanted. And it's obviously a bit of privacy and security. I mean, with living on a corner, anyone could just walk on and walk around if they wanted to, whereas now you've got no way of getting round the back, you know, without either crawling over the hedges, which you're not going to do because it's a hawthorn and the spiky, or jumping over a 6-foot fence, which again you're not going to do that. So yeah, on to the next job.